Whoa, y'all's getting a little too close and personal. We're just gonna have to back off a little bit, okay? Give me some space. Today is the day for my Stephen King book review. Now, y'all threw out some great nominations, but I was gonna pick majority vote. And it came down to 3 books. It came down to Dreamcatcher, which was majority. It came down to CUJO, which was majority. And it came down to It in majority. So since it was a tie between the 3, I just decided to choose one of the 3 to do. And the one I chose is CUJO. Alright, so I'm going to do a book review on CUJO. So here we go. First off, it starts off with a young little lad in his room, and he has this nightmare about a clown named CUJO. And this clown wanted to give him a balloon, but he didn't like balloons. He was allergic to them. But the clown kept wanting to give him this balloon, and he was like, "Come on, kid, suck on this balloon." And the kid was like, "No, I'm allergic." And then the clown chased him, and finally the kid woke up. And that was like an intense beginning of the book. But as it's progressed, it turns out that the clown was actually real this whole entire time. And he had possessed the body of a dog. I know, weird, right? So one day, the little boy and his mom decided to go on a big journey to find, their way around town. And the little boy wanted to learn some karate. So he went to find this dojo master, and they ended up getting lost. Okay, while they are doing that, his dad in the background is basically having an affair with a sheep. And he doesn't want his wife to know about him and this sheep, so he gets his best friend to help him hide the sheep. And it gets kind of weird, because the sheep's name is CUJO as well. And I didn't know whether the dog, which I'm getting ready to come to the dog, but I didn't know whether the dog was CUJO or the sheep was CUJO. So I was a little bit confused. But anyway, it pans over to this dog, and it's an innocent looking dog, all happy it can be. It can actually talk. It's a talking dog. I thought it was weird that Stephen King would make a talking dog, like Clifford the Big Red Dog, but, Stephen King, he is the man after all. So, the dog, he's chasing after this bunny rabbit, and he's all like, "Get back here, motherfucker, I'm gonna lick your foot, 'cause it's lucky." And he chases the rabbit all the way into this cave. And in this cave, it has bats. And the dog happens to meet this bat-like dog in the cave. And he's like, "Oh my god, it's Bat Dog. He's hidden in this cave all along. The vigilante of the animal kingdom." So the Bat Dog, however, is about to die. And he looks at the dog, which is named CUJO, and he says, "CUJO." And CUJO's like, "Whoa, man, how'd you know my name?" And he's like, "I'm dying. My lives are up. I have 9 lives like cats do. Go figure." And he's on his last life. And he wants him to be this Robin-like figure to his Bat Dog figure. So CUJO accepts this responsibility, because with great responsibility comes great, power. So CUJO takes the form of the Bat Dog, but here's the catch. His arch nemesis, the Jokester Dog, bit him on the shoulder, and he's like, "Oh man, it hurt." And then it started possessing him. And that's where the whole clown possesses the dog comes into play. Okay, let's go back to the little boy and his mom. They drive, and they ask directions from old man Tuckett, and he's like, "Oh, fuck it." So they just take left, and boom. They end up breaking down, and there's this house. They're getting ready to get out to see if there's anyone home. But then all of a sudden, CUJO comes out, and he's like, "No, no, 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 CUJO, CUJO." It's all in the book, I'm telling you guys. But they get trapped in their car, okay? And this big-ass dog all messed up. He doesn't know whether he's the Joker, doesn't know whether he's, Cujo the Bat Dog, doesn't know whether he's Ronald McDonald. And I thought it was weird that they added Ronald McDonald to the story, but, Stephen King, he is the man. He takes you on all these kind of twists and turns. So they're trapped, and this dog won't let them out. Meanwhile, back to the father. The father, he's like doing the sheep, and his friend's like, dude, you really should apologize to your wife. Like, what would happen if something bad happened to your wife? How would you feel? And the guy immediately just stops, and he's like, you know what? You're right. So he ends up hanging himself, and of course he, finishes the sheep off, but he hangs himself, and his best friend, which turned out he wanted the sheep after all, so he left with the sheep, and before he left, he like took a shit in their bed, like their master bed, where they lived. I thought it was disrespectful myself. I mean, the guy just hung himself, so why take a shit in his bed? Makes no sense to me. But that's Stephen King. He's pretty messed up. So finally, it pans over back to the girl, the mom and her son trapped in this car. And here's where the big spoiler comes into play. The mom realizes she has a fully automatic shotgun in the back, 12K, big ass holster, and it attaches to the side. And then the dog, they roll down the window. So one of those old time cars where you have to roll down the window. So she's sitting there like for like 5 chapters, just so how's the weather? And then the dog leaps up at her, blows its head off. You think it's all done. You think it's all said and done. They go to get out of the car. Dog turned out to be a lizard. He grew his head back, bit the boy on the shoulder. So now the boy was like, oh my god, this is the clown in my dream. Oh my god, I'm going to turn into a half lizard, half dog, half clown, half chicken kind of mutant. And the mom finally takes this spear, this like one out of Moby Dick, and she just like charges. Ah! And she stabs the dog right through the heart. And it completely it did like Harry Potter, Voldemort. It just shreds of him flew into the air. Because that's what happened to dogs when they pass away. Mom turns around and the boy, he's like, and can't breathe and shit because he's mutating. And she's like, oh no, what will I do now? Now, here's the difference between the movie version of this and the book version. The movie version, the boy turns to Batman. That's right. In the book, he just dies. He dies cold-blooded. Yep, the mom says, I can't help you. She had one in the chamber left. And she's like, I love you, son. I love you so much. Not really. And then, just the end. She ends up going home. She's like, who the fuck took a shit in my bed? And that's how it ends. On a scale of 1 through 10, I think that this book deserves probably a 10. Because, I never saw it coming where the dog was turning to a lizard. But, yeah. It was a wild book. If you guys have not read this book, I would give it a try. If you're a fan of clowns, give it a try, okay? And, yeah, that's my review on Cujo. The clown that possessed the dog spirit of Batman, or Bat Dog, my bad, the lizard animal creature. And, oh, and if you're wondering what happened to the guy with the sheep that ran off, well, at the very end of the book, the very last page, they actually got happily married. So it actually ended pretty happy. They had little sheep human babies. And I believe that's where the beginning of the Dead Zone became. Mind blown.